My name is Eric Barrett. I am a father and I am also an activist and I am director of Jumpstart Georgia. Jumpstart Georgia is an organization that expresses as a team, our technical approach to solving social problems or social challenges, depending on how you want to phrase it. We do a variety of activities. A lot of them really center on how to communicate ideas better using evidence, moving beyond myth and rumor, and using evidence-based approach to tackle issues. So we do a lot of data-driven advocacy work and a lot of storytelling around issues that we think are important. What separates us from traditional reporting, storytelling, or general project-oriented advocacy is we we try to find creative technical solutions to these problems. The communication is the final result of what people see. Usually that involves web-based applications or tools that allow people to do more than what they could before, or to understand an issue when there wasn't any data or when the data was never made public. There's a lot of crowdsourcing involved. And what we bring to the table is simply our technical knowledge, and we all try to stay pretty much up to date on what people are doing elsewhere that's sort of cutting edge or just different. We do use as much as possible open source technologies, because what we want is for our approaches to be replicable in other places at minimal to no cost when possible. I think we face similar issues or obstacles that other countries face, maybe to various, degrees, different degrees. But I think overall, what we face here is not dissimilar to what other people face in other countries. I know that there's a tendency here for people to say, "Well, this is Georgia." I think in a way I think that stems from people's desire to want to see their country issues as unique, but in general, I really think that there is a commonality to the obstacles that we face that other countries face, such as activism, creativity, lack of creativity in approaching issues, or how to solve issues, or how to attempt to solve issues. A lack of, I think, trust in using technology versus traditional methods, and just sort of, I think, we're fighting against a traditional inertia that is hard to face, hard to overcome with many organizations because they're set in their ways. And at the same time, I think one of the biggest issues, and I know this is uniform from country to country, is for the same reason. I think donor support in these endeavors. We have a lot of creative people that fall outside the traditional donor approach to development or to solving the social issues, and I think that inertia that donors have causes a lot of problems for, I think, trying out new ways to tackle problems. Obviously, I think traditional approaches have their place, but we see more and more that creative solutions might be more sustainable. Obviously, also, I think the jury is now in that many of the traditional approaches are ineffective. Maybe there's a short-term something, but generally there's not even a short-term positive impact, let alone a long-term positive impact. And a more grassroots, bottom-up approach is going to lead to more long-term approaches. But for that to happen, I think donors need to rethink how they fund these creative activities that, I think once they support, they're basically supporting activities and processes that are going to continue well beyond the actual funding, if done correctly, of course. Yes, definitely. The networking aspect has been, I think, very important, because Well, a lot of us didn't know we existed before, even though we're all doing creative things that I think we just didn't know about. And I think to see people and individuals and activists and organizations trying new things and now knowing they exist, I think gives us some sort of feedback loop and reinvigorates us to continue doing what we're doing, because there's a demand for it. We're not alone, I think, and we can now that we know we exist, we can support each other, provide logistical support for each other, resources when needed, in a different way. You know, we utilize what we have without looking for additional funds from traditional donor type mechanisms. You know, we use what we have to support each other in any way we can, and I think provide a more sustainable approach to solving these problems creatively. I would say that, like, at first I was quite a little bit skeptical of the Edgeryders platform. I mean, I think from my perspective, we see a lot of sort of parachute projects come in seeking to create this mystical platform that's supposed to unite or create communities and seed them and be sustainable. And I've seen that so many times, but I think Edgeryders is a slightly different approach. It doesn't promise anything, but helps provide a medium which I think people can use and springboard off of. I'm a lot more optimistic of that mechanism, and I'm anxious to see the post-workshop consequences of Edgeryders. I think information exchange is first and foremost, I think, is important, because it's a form of support, it's a form of community. I think it gives it's a form of affirmation, and that we're not alone in what we're doing. I think Edgeryders potentially can help with that. I think Georgia, one of its obstacles is that people often reinvent the wheel, but they also do so, I think, because they feel alone, or they just don't know that there are other people out there doing similar things. And I think a mechanism to bring communities together around common causes, or just common passions, or even general ideas is very important, because then we benefit from the support, we benefit from the collective information that may otherwise elude us.